Hello and welcome back to the King James Bible Sunday School channel on YouTube and Rumble. Today's devotion is going to come from Thoughts for the Quiet Hour again. It is it's provided by F.B. Meyer today, though, and we'll get into that in just a second. Today is April the 4th, 2024, and the Bible reading that we have April 4th. For the 1 year Bible reading out of John Butler's Daily Bible Readings is 1 Samuel chapter 18 through 20, 18, 19, and 20 of 1 Samuel. And tomorrow would be 21, 22, 23, and 24. So you have 4 chapters tomorrow. The 6-month reading schedule from the KJV Devotional Bible is going to be Joshua chapter 8 and 9, Jeremiah 2 and 3, and Psalm 139, 140, and 141. That's Joshua 8 and 9, Jeremiah 2 and 3, and Psalm 139, 140, and 141. Tomorrow would be 2 more chapters of Joshua and Jeremiah each, and then Psalms 142 through 144 to get through the Bible in 6 months. And as I was looking at a couple of devotionals, and just this one just was sticking in my mind. And F.B. Meyer will do that a lot for me, as well as D.L. Moody. But between him and D.L. Moody on this day, at this time, I want to read this to you. And still debating about tomorrow. So let's get this. Genesis chapter 13 and verse number 15. Genesis 13 and verse 15 is the verse passage, or at least a portion of it. It says, "All the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. All the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever." Genesis 13:15. God's promises are ever on the ascending scale. One leads up to another, fuller and more blessed than itself. In Mesopotamia, God said, "I will show thee the land." At Bethel, "This is the land." Here, "I will give thee all the land, and children innumerable as the grains of sand." And we shall find even these eclipsed. It is thus that God allures us to saintliness, not giving anything till we have dared to act, that he may test us, not giving everything at first, that he may not overwhelm us, and always keeping in hand an infinite reserve of blessing. Oh, the unexplored remainders of God! Who ever saw his last star? And that's the thought for the quiet hour. And I just hope that you'll spend some time meditating on the things of God. Devote some time. That's what the word is really for. Devote some time to being devout. All right, and that brings all of that together with what a devotion really should be. Giving back just a simple little portion of our lives. If we did a tithe of our lives, right? We have a 24-hour day. 24 hours is our day. 1/10 of 24 hours, okay, is what now? 2.4 hours. So let me just round it up. 2.5 hours. If I'm not mistaken, it's that amount approximately. Now 2.4 hours isn't hard to figure out either. I'm not trying to say you can't do it that way. but just say 2.5 hours, just to make life easier for you. Do you spend that amount of time with the Lord every day? You may say, you spend time with Christ while you're doing other things, stuff like that. So you're kind of sharing that time. Maybe you split that in half. Then you'd make about 5 hours a day you need to be spending um, really focused on the Lord, even while you're doing other things and, accomplishing stuff. If it's just background, maybe that's 25% of the time. So you spend an hour with doing other things. We'll say 15 minutes of that is actually spent with the Lord. So to get to 2.5 hours, that's two. And then four. That would be about 9 hours, I think, of spending time with God kind of in the background where you're still hearing, like you got preaching going on or singing going on, stuff like that. Maybe some Bible readings going on in the background, and you're, doing your regular work and stuff like that. About, that's, I'm just trying to think of how to figure that. And that would be about a tithe of the time, there. And then really the rest of the time that you spend your day is what, you know. But I think that we're not to try to be rigid and stuff like that and figure out, well, okay, I owe the Lord a couple and a half hours or so I'm going to do this, I'm going to go do this for an hour, and I'm going to make sure I do this for an hour, and I went to church for an hour, so that's taken care of for that hour, and, better to be always devoted to Him, always submitted to Him, always seeking to be consecrated and separated unto our God, and try to live for Him because of what He's done for us. So He's given full measure of devotion and given His life in our place, and we want to, unfortunately, we mostly just keep our lives and do everything for ourselves. But if we are saying, well, we're going to spend some time with God, well, let's set aside, I understand it's good to set aside, say, half an hour or so in the morning, and half an hour in the evening, and spend some time, that way. Make it a habit, and make it a habit of prayer to have in your life. But if it just becomes a recurring habit, then, you're basically not going to accomplish the things that He really wants. So it's got to be more than just a scheduled concept of time, because a lot of that, then you're kind of focused on the time rather than on what you're supposed to be focusing on. So, but all that said, just to say, I want to encourage you to spend time with the Lord Jesus Christ and live for His honor and glory. I'm not trying to make any of this devotion is repetitive, very much so, but none of these devotionals am I trying to make where it's a rigid, 10-minute period of time that we're going to say, get everything out and we're done, put something for it. No, I'm going to ramble a little bit. It's going to be 10 minutes for one, 20 for another. I'll talk about something else, and something will catch my eye, and I'll be looking and decide that I want to say something about it, and just let that be. But and I understand that everybody has a schedule of time, generally speaking, and you've got something you probably need to be doing, and maybe I'm holding you up. Of course, you can stop the video anytime you want, though. But I do want to just try to encourage you to spend time with God and let the Lord work in your heart and show you what He wants to show you. And then walk with him. That's what I want to try to encourage you to do. And I hope that you have a good time in devotion, in prayer, and with the Lord Jesus Christ. And I'll see you again tomorrow for another day-by-day devotional. Bye.